Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 7 of my Give It a Whirl workshop series. In today's video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create this card here. And it is made with the Sweet Little Stockings Designer Series, or Sweet Little Stockings stamp set, Sweet Stockings Designer Series paper. And I'm inspired by a toy I played with a lot as a kid, and I still play with them whenever I go into a sort of a vintage store. And that is called, it's Jack in the Box, right? And there's also like a restaurant called Jack in the Box. So check this out. Those of you who got my kit have one of these Wobble Springs, check this out. So you're going to spin your card, and actually, let me see if, which way did I want to start it? I think I want to start it that direction. It doesn't really matter which direction you start it in. So you have your little cat in the stocking, you have your little hamster in the stocking, right? Wait for it. Bing! Bing! It's a Wobble Spring. So you're going to get your little doggie to come out. And the reason I kind of got inspired by this, I was originally trying to make a merry-go-round, come up with some kind of merry-go-round idea. And then I was like trying to get the paws to kind of go over the stocking. And then it came to me. I can get the paws to go over the stocking, and I make a little Jack in the Box. So here's how you do. You're going to spring load it. I mean, it's spring loaded. You're going to push it down, push it back in, and kids would have so much fun with this. And you just go around, right? Little kitty. I'm going to have to make the little arrows that say go up, because I want them to do the two things first and then get to that one. So we'll actually do some arrows for this one. Little black arrows. You have a piece of black cardstock in your kit. Boing! All right, so I can't stop doing it. It's so much fun. And I put some Wink of Stella on it. And this is what we're going to make. Something like this. No two cards are ever alike, so you know how that is. So you're going to take in your kit, you have your, by the way, you get the kits if you were in the U.S. If you're not, then you just follow along with whichever materials you have. So you're going to take a piece of this one and make your little stocking. Of course, I recommend using your scan and cut to get your even white space around. This is perfectly cut with the scan and cut. You can go ahead and get your scissors if you just have these pieces of paper. So I'm not going to do the stocking right now. I have my bucket of crafty goodness already with the stocking cut out. I'm going to show you how to color it. I've already have the little doggie, the little hamster, the little kitty cut out, but I'll give you a little tip on how to color them with the blends. I kind of just want to show you more of the mechanics of it, right? And then you're going to need a piece of, let me see, this piece here. You're going to need this piece here. And if you haven't followed along with my whole series, we've done so many projects with this series. I'll show them all to you at the end. You're going to need this piece for contrast. And this is all the dies that come in the set. We've used almost all the dies in this workshop. And the workshop's going to be concluding soon with the Give It a Whirl workshop will be concluding soon. And I'll be, in my VIP group, I'll be doing a drawing for anyone in the U.S. who purchased a kit. So this is all the dies, just so you're not overwhelmed. We're only using 1, 2, 3, 4. We're using this. We could use the circle. We'll use the circle die, and you need, of course, always this base die. So these are the Give It a Whirl dies, and I think we're going to need an arrow to tell them which way to start spinning it, or maybe this little these arrows like that. And like I said, you have black in your kit, but you really just want a contrast. You have that we're using Evening Evergreen as the card base. Where's my card? And a piece of Old Olive. So those came in your kit, your cardstock. So this is Evening Evergreen, because it goes with the designer series paper, just plain inside. I made it plain inside. You have some basic white cardstock. I'll show you how to get the cute little edging around the hearts to make them pop. You're going to use a piece of Old Olive here. All right, so that was the introduction. This is so fun. I've had so much fun in this series. I cannot tell you. And what I did when I had, and this is kind of the result of the different shapes you're going to cut. When I had a workshop, I'm kind of liking this format. It just sort of happened where I had the Butterfly Brilliance, and those were a set of dies, and I had so much I wanted to do with them that I said, I want to do a series on, like a really intense series. So when my customers purchase something from me, right, I want to be able to teach them not just how to make one thing with it. I want to teach them how to really get their money's worth, how to get super value out of something. Plus, I like to get challenged on how to use things myself. So with the Butterfly Brilliance Bootcamp, I had done a whole series, and it probably was set many parts. And at the end, what I did in my VIP group is I did a drawing for a project. I'm just getting a piece of white, by the way. That's how I'm doing. A piece of white cardstock. I did a drawing, and I gave away one of each of the projects I did. And then the second place person had a few of the projects, not all of them, but the first person got one of every project, and the second person got the, like, you know, whatever leftover projects, like maybe they got 5 projects instead of 10 projects. So that was really fun. So whoever purchased a kit is in that drawing. So I'll be doing that before the conclusion of this video, before the conclusion of the series. I'll let you know who the winner is on YouTube. I'll tell you, I won't do the drawing on YouTube. I'll just tell you who the winner is. I'm doing the drawing in my group. All right, so what I'm doing now is, this is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're using plate 1, because I always like to start from the scratch, right? Plate 2, this is the thin die adapter, a cutting plate 3, and I'm just folding a piece of regular cardstock here, just to make the wheels and the hearts that we need, okay? So we always need a couple wheels, so I'm just gonna cut 2 wheels at once. Those are what you stamp on. We need some of these hearts, these stitched hearts for the design. So we're gonna just put a few hearts there. The top ones are the ones you wanna use. The stitching comes out better. So we'll just do that. Put the top base plate, or top cutting plate. That's plate number 3. And I should have just turned this around here. See, the handle can go on either side. Let's see. The handle can go over here, so it would just be easier, so I can not block the camera view. Anyway, so I'm gonna crank that through, and it makes a little crunching noise, but it's all good. Okay. So this is our wheel. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. All right, so there we go. So that's all you need those for. We need 1 set of hearts. And so we're gonna pop those out. And the top ones are always gonna be better stitched. But save the bottom ones. I was just trying to, because I needed 2 wheels. I only need 1 set of hearts. But see how the top hearts are better? See, they just have better stitching. Actually, these ones both came out with great stitching. But these stitching, see how the stitching's like all the way through? And this stitching's not quite all the way through, but it still gives you good stitching. But let's keep the top set. Put that over there. I'm always losing things. I'm just gonna put the other one, I'm putting these closer to me and putting the other ones farther away, but I'll still lose them and end up having to use the other ones because every time I do a video, I lose something. All right, and eventually I do blog posts with different tips and tricks and measurements and colors, but I'm only up to, right now I'm doing part 7, but I've only blogged up to part 5. And that's thepaperedchef.com. So if you missed parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, thepaperedchef.com is where you find them, but it just takes me a while to, you know what it is? I'm more of a video person, and it's no excuse, but I like to do videos more than I like to type out instructions. And so I end up doing more of what I like, and because I like doing videos, I do more videos than anything else. Now you're not gonna glue these together yet. You do need both of these, but don't glue them together yet, because if we mess up any of our circle, stamping, Wobble Spring, coloring, right, anything, then we can just flip it around, use that side, or this side, or this one, or put that one on the bottom, or put this one on the bottom. So you have lots of chances to mess up. So don't glue them together yet. Now we're gonna do the other part while we have the machine here. We're gonna do this part of the card. We're gonna make this, the reason I chose this background is because I really wanted something to contrast. I tried other backgrounds. I tried like using other things as backgrounds, like these were just not, they didn't contrast enough with this pattern. I guess you could probably use this one, but since I'm using Old Olive back here, that didn't contrast. You know, this one was okay, but then the stars didn't really show through in this piece. I mean, this one would be okay. Actually, you know, Okay, what do you think? Could you? No, you know what? I'm just gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with the same one I used, because it's really cute how the little cat in there looked good on this color. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take a piece of, I'm just going to cut this, just grabbing my paper trimmer real quick and cutting this in half, because you can't fit a 12-inch piece of this through the machine, right? So I'm just cutting it in half. All right. So I have a 6 by 12-inch piece, but you don't really need the whole 12-inch. So we're going to go same sandwich again. We got plates 1, 2, 3, right? This time, and if you haven't been watching my series, I have a good trick to get rid of that line. There's a big line that goes across your designer series paper. If I were to just cut this on top right now, I'd have a huge line across, but I have a trick on getting rid of that line. I've used that trick in every one of my tutorials. So this is a trick that you want to use. Let's see if this will fit. Okay, good, good, good. I can use this piece here for the back. So what I'm just going to grab is some scissors real quick. Let's grab scissors. Or actually, I can just use my trimmer. Actually, I can just rip it. It doesn't matter. I can just rip it because I think it'll. There we go. You don't want to cut through two more pieces. You don't want to cut through cardstock again twice. We're going to cut through designer series paper and cardstock. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting rid of. I'm just ripping it instead of grabbing my scissors. It's just easier to rip it off. I need it to be less than 6 inches. All right, so what I need to do now is this piece must go on top. That's very important. But you also want to keep your lines, straight. For this kind of background, you want to make sure that you're not doing this kind of thing when you put it through the machine, because then these lines won't be straight. We want the lines to be straight across. So this time we need a little bit of tape or something, right, to keep them together. And we've been having this discussion in this group about, you know, sticky note tape and not ripping my paper. So I did grab sticky notes, and now here they are. So this is what I mean. So you guys have been telling me, oh, stop using painter's tape. You need to use sticky note tape. Well, I haven't had a chance to get the sticky note tape yet. So I'm making my own sticky note tape with the top part of the sticky note that's sticky, right? And this will help me keep things together. So what I mean by that, I'm sticking the die. So this is the paper straight. The die is straight, and I'm going to stick them all together like that, right? And I'm going to fold it over the top so that these stay together when you go through the die cutting and won't make my paper all crooked. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I know it's sad, right? I'm cutting such a cute side of the paper, but I'm going to show you later in this video. I finished a few note card sets that I've made with cute cutouts from the scan and cut, so I'll be showing you those later in the video. If you're used to my channel, you know that I show you my projects at the end. I like to just jump right in and start crafting. And I like to show the projects at the end unless it's a video where it's all about projects. Anyway, I'm putting that top plate on there. If I'm doing a video on just projects, of course I show the projects at the beginning. But when I show techniques videos, I like to show you more examples at the end so that I can get right into crafting. Yes, that noise was loud. Don't worry about that cracking noise. All right, now this is what I'm talking about, why you put this piece on top, okay? That's why you put this piece on top, because this line that goes across from this die. Now the die is needed, and we need the die because it has this perfect little hole on it that we use to align things. So of course, we need the line on the die to make that hole in the middle. But look what happens to that paper. So if this was your card, you'd have this big deep line on the top of your card, and you'd be like, that's annoying, right? So that's why we put that on the top. Okay, now poke that hole out. I'm just using the take your pick tool. Okay, so get rid of that hole. Now what we need to do is get the circle. So you're never going to cut the circle. Don't try to cut. So you have your die. Now don't try to cut this circle from here. This is one we're using at the same time as you cut this. Okay, so you do that part first, and then you're doing this part, because you'll just have troubles. Trust me. I mean, I've tried to do it both ways. So now we're taking everything, just so you know, these two are pretty much stuck together, because when you die cut them together, they're stuck together. But however, we want to put that painter's tape back on there just to keep them from slipping. And now we're taking the circle, and we're going to go like this. Here, let me put this down so you don't want to poke yourself with that tool, right? Put that tool down. I'm going to go like this with the hole, and you got to line the hole. Now, do you want this to be straight? Yes. It wouldn't matter. It'd be still cute at an angle, but I wanted it to be straight for my little doggie. Okay. How much is that doggie in the window? All right. I know you guys get sick of me singing, but I like to sing. Okay, there you go. So we're putting it straight, and we're gonna go like that. Oops. Okay, so it's good enough. I need another piece of makeshift sticky note tape, because one piece is holding the two pieces together, and now this one needs to hold the circle so it doesn't become a crooked circle. I want the circle to be straight up. There you go. But you're lining up the hole. Okay, now the same process I'm teaching you can be applied to any Give It a Whirl card. So this is a great set of dies for making interactive cards. It came with circles and rectangles and hearts, right? You can use this what I'm showing you for any Give It a Whirl card. So please check out the rest of the series because I could do 100-part series on this. There's how many ideas are in my head about how many different kinds of ways you can use these dies. I literally could go to 100, but I can't because I have another series coming up, and it's called the Giving Gifts Workshop, and I'm not able to just, I have to stop at the end of the end of the month, beginning of October, so I can move on, or otherwise we just go on and on into infinity. I do have some series that are actually infinity series that never really stop, like I have an Ink It Up series that never stops because it's all about techniques. But when it comes to these products, I like to stop and move on to another set of products that we can play with. All right, so maybe I'll give you a sneak peek of that. We'll see what we have time for. So this is all we need. Now we're going to save this. Save these two because we're going to use these circles. Okay. We're going to use that circle. It lines up. Now this is there's the trick. So you see that? That's hidden. You have to use this to put behind it. But voila, we don't have this deep indentation on our card. It's perfect. So now we're just going to adhere these two together. It's very important that you don't just use a card with designer series paper on it. It's too flimsy. It won't hold your mechanism. So you're going to put the cardstock behind it. So that was the purpose of doing the cardstock in front of it, because the cardstock in front of it absorbed that line. The cardstock behind it is needed for reinforcement. So now you're going to just sort of glue those together. You can use glue. You can use rolling adhesive, whatever you want to use. This is our multi-purpose adhesive. I mean, it's just what I grabbed. I could have used Seal Plus. Any rolling adhesive. And we're going to adhere those together. And sometimes one trick is to use let me see if I can't get rid of this. Let me see if I need the die cut for anything else. Do I need the die cutting machine? Let me look. No, because I already have all the other pieces. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the machine now. Put that down. So what I like to do when I'm gluing things together, put this down, in the corner of my paper trimmer is it's a little corner. It holds, oops, there's that darn annoying ceiling light. Okay, and it helps me when something is, see, it helps me line up things perfectly. So when I glue things together, I push them against the corner of my paper trimmer, and they line up. All right, so now we have this part, and if you really want to reinforce it because you got this little jack-in-the-box mechanism, go ahead and do 3 pieces. I mean, you could have cut out 3 of these. You could cut out 3 layers to reinforce it. So now let's do this part. Okay, let's get I'm just going to go ahead and, while I have the trimmer right here, I'm going to make this little background for it. So what we need, so we have our card. I already have the card made. Okay, this is a piece of Evening Evergreen. This is a piece of Old Olive. Both of these are in your Give It a Whirl kit. So what I want to do is just make your card base. Right, this is going to be, and I have two blades on my trimmer. Your trimmer only comes with 1 blade and 1 scoring blade. I keep 2 blades on there. One to do the dull stuff like my glimmer paper. This is my dull blade, and my sharper blade to do the cardstock. I'm just keeping 2 blades on there because I'm sick of changing blades and not remembering which one was the dull blade and which one was not. So this is 4 inches. Let's make sure. Okay, 4 inches, good, by 5 1/4. It's just giving me that 1/4 inch border around it. 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, let's make sure again, and we're not going to attach this to the card yet because things can happen, right? Things can happen with this. Things can go awry, but it's going to be like this. Here's your card. Just so you know, this is what we're doing. Here's your card. Here's your Old Olive. Here's your mechanism. This is how it all goes together. Okay? So if you're new to the Give It a Whirl, that's as easy as the Give It a Whirl gets. It's just you put that little wheel there. And I do need to put the little black arrows. But I don't know if I'll die cut them yet. Depends on if my video goes to an hour or not. So if it does, if it doesn't, I can cut the black arrows. If it does, we don't cut the black arrows. I don't want to make you wait, but that's what we're going to do next. So we are going to, let's get my little silicone mat and my crafty goodness. This is my new little way of organizing my trinkets because I'm sharing some trinkets with some of my early birds for my next series. And I had to organize my trinkets to see what I had here. So we're going to take one of the big, it's going to be hidden, but you want a big one, a big brad. So you get your brads, You have 20 brads in your kit. So you were just going to do this. Go ahead and we're just putting one wheel for now. Putting one wheel. Let's use the bottom wheel. Okay, we're going to put a wheel in there. We're going to take this all apart later. Just put this wheel in there for now. You're going to go through this hole. You're going to go through this hole, right? And you're going to stick this like this. This is just temporary. And get some of your tape. We'll tape it better later. Just get some of this tape to keep it from spinning around too much. Protect that for a little bit. Okay, and see how the little lines are like that? We're just going to, I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to, that's like one section of the card. So we want to first glue in the little section that belongs together. So this little section, we want to glue that in first. It belongs in that circle. And I did have a silicone mat. I know I did, but alas, we find it's okay. It's amazing how like you can't, in one little table, you can lose so many things. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna we'll just put one of these down. We gotta put something under us when we do this gluing because I don't want to get glue all over the table. So we'll stick this down instead. So we have this little piece. I'm just getting rid of that painter's or the sticky note tape on it. It shows how, see, if I were to use painter's tape, it would have ripped it a bit. So this tape works better. So now we want to get this. It's like a puzzle. Okay, that's upside down. We want this piece to go in like a puzzle. And this is a technique that I showed you about piecing things together in previous videos when we did piece our cards together like a puzzle. And we made some color changing cards with this method. So you're kind of combining a couple of the methods you learned in this series. Okay, so I'm just using the multi-purpose adhesive again. Okay, and which way was it? It was like that. Yep, it does. That goes together. Okay, so get that in there. Get that under there, and don't let it stick on the sides. Okay? Don't let it stick to the sides of the circle. And then go ahead and test that. Oh no, you can't really test it because I have the sticky note there to keep it from moving. Okay, but you see how you can at least test it that you're not sticking it to, that no glue is stuck around the edges of it, right? So that it moves freely later. All right, so that's good. Now we're going to take this. Worry about the cat later. We'll put the cat in that circle later. You're going to turn, 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 just until you hide that circle. That's all you're trying to do is hide the circle. Okay, turn it around and tape that together. Okay, now you're going to take, let's get my crafty goodness, and we have to get, you'll see kind of all the little things I've done ahead of time for you here, just to kind of show you the difference between cutting with scissors and cutting with the scan and cut. So here's my bucket of crafty goodness I've been working on here. So we have the pieces you need. Yeah. See, this is when I cut with scissors. I cut the little Mr. Hamster with scissors, and I didn't leave a lot of white space around it. And then these guys were cut with the scan and cut, see? These little kitty. And I'll show you how I colored it in a little bit. See, little kitty, little doggies. These were cut with the scan and cut, so they have a lot more white space around them, and they're just a lot more even. So let's just take the little hamster, and we can put, if we mess up, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the hamster in the wheel, and we're going to put hello there. But if we mess up, we're going to take a circle, and we can just sort of cover up the other, or we can flip this around. So let's just take this little guy, leave him there. Don't adhere him yet, because we're not sure where he's going to go yet. We've got to put a stocking there just for, I'm not sure what stocking I'll use, maybe. We'll decide which stocking to use in a minute. But let's just put a stocking. Okay, so let's put a stocking there. He's going to kind of go up there a little bit. And we're going to put the word hello. So I told you before in this series to make your homework at the very first part was to make these templates. And I like to use these to protect my card. So I told you all to make your templates. I think, we made lots of templates here. Just so you know what I'm talking about, we made a template for each one. Here's a template. That was your homework in part 1 of this series. So right now you want to use that template. Here, let's use this template to put the hello in there. without getting any ink on our card, right? So we're going to do that. This is just a protection for your card. Does that make sense? You don't want to get ink on the other part. Although it is cherry cobbler on top of cherry cobbler, it really shouldn't matter, right? So we need to find maybe a stamping block. Let's see if I already have one. This says Very Merry. Stamps do get stained when you use this method of using cherry cobbler ink. I'm just looking and seeing if that was that sound earlier. I'm looking for my baby hello stamp. I'm going to start singing the hello, the Lionel Richie song. All right, here we go. Here it is. So we're just going to put that there, only because it fit. And where did I get this little hello stamp? I got it from what's called, there's a stamp set called Inspired Thoughts. Okay, and it's one of the stamp sets I recommended for this series because it has so many things I've used throughout the series. Peace, love, and joy. I use this series a lot, these sentiments a lot. Inspired Thoughts. All right, we need a little bit of cherry cobbler. Dip, dip, dip. Let's touch it onto the sticky note down there, and it's stamping just fine. You're doing that to make sure that it's right side up. Okay, it came out nice. You don't, if you sometimes use the little test paper to make sure that things are not upside down. So that's not, I'm not just doing it to make sure I get a good stamp. Let me just tap that off so it doesn't get on something. I'm doing it to also make sure that it's not upside down. All right, now we're going to do the stocking and then we'll do the hamster. So we need to, that's hello for where the hamster goes. We're going to just keep, let's see, it depends on which way. Later on you're going to put the arrows because it depends on, I like to go down with the arrows, but it just depends on which way your card, like if it gets stuck in one direction, you're going to go in the other direction. So, you know, you might want your arrows to go up. Just you put the arrows the way you want to tell someone to do the card. So in this side is going to be the hamster. And on this one, I'm just lining it up. It's going to be the doggie. So I need to do the doggie next because the doggie's going to make me decide where to put the wobble spring, and then I can put the hamster like later. So first we need the doggie. The cat will just go where it goes. So the doggie is important because the doggie is spring loaded, and you want him to see, and he's already kind of tilted. See, he has a little doggie tilt head already done. So when you see, let me just do that again. I'm just going to kind of tilt him under there. Okay, he's under there in a wobble spring. So you want to make sure, right? Let me just go backwards for a second just to show you. When you do this, and he pops, actually, I'm going to go, wait, I want to go this way for this card. Because like I said, one way is moving smoothly, smoother than the other way. So that's the direction I'm going in. Watch it pop out. See? See how it pops out? So it was very important to make sure he's free of the stocking. You have to make sure that his little legs are free of the stocking or pretty close. If they brush up against the stocking, they'll still pop out. If you get them too under, here, let me show you what I mean. And if you have any questions, I'm going to look at the questions and look at your comments in a second. But let's find a little doggie. I already have one made. All right, see. Okay, if he popped up and he was right there, then he's going to pop up like that, and he's not going to be free. He's not going to pop up, so you need him to be free of the stocking. But it kind of looks like he's hanging out of the stocking because of the 3D effect. But you don't want his little paws to touch. So that's why you need to know where you're going to put your stocking and where you're going to put your doggie. See? So something like that. You got to make your doggie free from this window so he doesn't get caught in anything. Right? But you also need him to be right close to your stocking without getting caught on your stocking. So we kind of tilt him a little bit. Let's get the crafty goodness. These are called wobble springs. Everybody got these in their kit. Little wobble springs. We're going to put one of these on the back of the doggie. The little heavy side. There's a heavy plastic side. And the heavy plastic side is what touches the doggie. Okay, and so we're going to turn the doggie over. And I'm just going to put that on the doggie. You can tell I use scrap paper when I stamp all the time. Okay, and then now you're going to take this part off. And this part, don't adhere it yet. And make sure you get it's free of your stocking. Then we'll adhere the stocking. So it's going to be, let's put the stocking there. And you want it free in the circle, see? Ba-boom, ba-boom. He's good, he's perfect, okay? Now you're gonna take your little stocking and make sure that he's not touching it. So before you adhere it, see? He's not touching your stocking, he's gonna pop up easy. Now we can adhere the stocking. So now you're gonna take your Stampin' Dimensionals, right? And put those on your stocking, but not on the brad itself. So there's your brad is under there. And you want your brad to be able to move freely. So you don't want your stocking to touch your brad. See, I mean, the adhesive, I'm sorry. So let's see. Let's see where the brad is gonna be. Well, sometimes you just gotta try it. Let's see. Nope, he's a little too close. I don't think I probably need another one. Maybe down there. There we go. I'm just making sure this isn't touching the brad because the brad has to move freely behind the stocking. You could layer up your stocking twice if you wanted. It's for reinforcement. All right, again, he can't touch it. All right. Perfect. Ah, I'm so happy. All right, now let's take it and try it. We're gonna try out our card before we do all the stuff with the circle. Okay? Let's see if he's free of the stocking. Okay, so we're gonna tap him down. We're gonna turn it over like this. Of course, it's gonna work better when it's attached to the cardstock, but this is the idea. So it's gonna go Jack in the Box. See, it bounces out and it works and it's free of the stocking. It didn't get caught under the stocking. So that's all we need to do. So that's the mechanics of it. Now we can worry about the hamster, the kitty, all the other things. We can do our things where we adhere our two circles together. We can do all the rest now. That was the only important part where we really had to worry about it. Oops. Told you not to adhere here. Let's leave that like that because I have my brad in there. I forgot about the other. I forgot about doing this before. So I need to do my double layer now. So always reinforce your circle. So I'm going to take some adhesive. Only because I just found that these cards are so much stronger when you use double layers on everything. It's worked for me. Okay, and I'm just doubling up, and then you're going to kind of get these little scallops to line up. All right, so Patty, hello Patty. You said you just saw my notification. That's awesome. I'm glad you're getting notified. I sometimes put like coming soon as well. When I do these, I tried to go on my coming soon. That means I'm usually doing it right afterwards. Hi Nola, watching from the West Coast. Hi Donna. Hi Patty, hi Denise. So you see how this is all coming together in here. I'm not gonna add my little hamster until or my kitty until he's back on the card, just to make sure. The little kitty's gonna go there. We'll find a kitty in a moment. All right, anyway, let's get this back together. Let's get my card back together while my thing is dry. So Donna is saying so cute, Patty loves it. Denise is saying it's so smart. Total adorbs. I'm glad, well, Nola, I knew you would like it because of the doggie since you're Miss Doggie Trainer Extraordinaire. Awesome. Okay, and I have someone from Australia. Oh, nope. New South Wales, Australia. Deborah. Hi, Betty. What I'm doing is I'm just putting this back together. Okay, like that. Okay, we're lining this back up like that. We're putting it back together. Now we're going to use that painter's tape I told you about in a minute. I'll say hi to the rest of you in a minute. I'm just, oh yes, eternally looking for painter's tape. Now this time you don't want to use your sticky note tape. Oh, I could show you those deer things I created as well. Lots and lots of projects here. All right, what I'm doing now is I'm just putting a piece of painter's tape, not the sticky note tape. I want something more permanent back there. That's going to keep the card from scratching through as it rolls around so many times on your card. So now what you want to do is, what I did a little bit is to make this a little bit more free. Let's make this a little bit more free. Let's make this a little bit more loose because it's a little bit bigger than normal. I'm making it a little bit looser. Loosey-goosey because it's the little thing has to pop out. So what I like to do is I like to use my sticker method, and this is just using stickers I got from, from a craft store. I'm just using these little pop-up stickers are helping me keep things away from each other. It's helping me keep this little frame, right, away from this. It helps me a little bit putting a couple stickers on this part, but still hidden. So what I mean by that, I just take a couple stickers. This is my little trick. I'm going to use it again when I get to the wheel part. So right underneath here, it doesn't really matter where you put them. You're putting them on your cardstock. It just keeps things from getting sort of caught up under there. Okay, so it just kind of keeps that. You can't see it. I'm not putting them on the wheel. This is what I'm showing you. I'm just kind of putting them on this. I'm putting them right under there. I just need one on that side. This one is fine. Okay, and then it's going to help keep the wheel from getting jammed or from getting caught because it keeps a little bit of spacing there. Now I'm also going to put a couple under here later on the cardstock part. Here, I'll just show you that while I got it. I'll just show you where I put them before I attach this. Okay, I put a couple hearts. These are just little hearts. You can't see them. I'm putting them right under the wheel before I adhere everything together. So this is just my little trick you can use. I also used some dimensionals under there. It's worked before. Some dimensionals. Anything, but you have to keep the sticker part on them. Anything to keep things from sort of getting too close. So it makes it roll. Oops, get that under there. Okay, so there's my little trick for spacing things. See, it helps everything roll more freely. Okay, so when it's rolling freely this way, but I'm saying it helps it from if you don't do it, this wheel gets too close to the cardstock and it's hard to spin it. All right, where were we? We need some Winkostella. Now you're just watching me decorate the card. I'm giving you some tips and tricks. Winkostella is good. It's always a good thing. You're glittering up your stocking with this glitter brush. When your Winkostella starts getting empty, you can add some alcohol to it with an eyedropper. And when you want to change the color of your Winkostella, you can add some re-inker to it. Add some re-inker and some alcohol to it, and you can change the color and make your Winkostella have different tints on it. So that's always fun. And I always put Winkostella on the little doggie itself. Now we want to take your hearts, which I told you I was going to put right here so we didn't lose them, and we did that effectively. So here they are, our hearts. I'm going to show you what I did with those. So we'll just put those on here. And you're going to take your blends. And I said if you ever have just one color of blends, it would be the Pool Party. I'm going to use the Dark Pool Party. So if you're ever just going to get one color of blends, it's Pool Party. Pool Party is the color. These are alcohol markers. I'm just going around the edge of my hearts. And I'll show you close up what this looks like. I'm going up into the stitching. Because if you don't have a lot of contrast. These don't stick out as much on that background. And plus, Pool Party is one of the coordinating colors. Here you go. Can you see that? Let's get that in focus. Okay, that's what we're doing to the hearts. Pool Party around the edges. Then I use Winkostella on top of the Pool Parties to sort of blend it in. Oops, sometimes they got, and if you mess up, I'm going to color that whole heart, right? That's no problem. I'm going to color the whole heart. When you start going into the edges too much, you can color the whole heart. Okay, let's see. You're going to take your thick side. See, that's all I'm doing. No big deal. Or I could have grabbed that other, remember how we did 2 sets of stitched hearts? I could have grabbed the other one. That would have been fine too. So let's do that. Let's take some Winkostella and color the edges of the heart. Little details matter. People love it. Actually, I'm going to color the whole heart. But especially if you want, you could just go around the edges In this case, I'm just going to color the whole heart. Right? It's fine too. And I realize it might not be in focus when I lift it unless I stop my camera. I have an autofocus set, but unless I sort of stop, you can see that. I hope you can see that. There we go. So I'm just kind of doing the little glittery hearts, and then I'm going to do that to this whole one that I did with the alcohol markers. So what's really nice about just using white to cut lots of shapes and have your bucket of crafty goodness ready is you can just have all these like pieces that you can use later that coordinate by when you change the color, you coordinate them. All right, let's look at the first one. Let's look at how we did this. So we did, all right, I did it over here with one of these. We'll put this heart there and that heart there. And then I used some gems. I used some little gemstones. You can see that, I don't know if you can see the little bling. I used some gemstones on here. But we'll just attach the hearts. Something like that. But let's make sure we do our sentiment first. So we just look at our, let's grab the crafty goodness. Because okay, let's clear this off. Clear this off. We don't need to reinvent the wheel every time, right? We have stuff here we can use. See, what I was going to do is stamp that with you with the cherry cobbler, but you guys know how to stamp at this point. We've already gone through how to stamp lots and lots of times. So let's see. I'm just going to I'm trying to find one that's already cute stitching on it. Like that's already cute. And I think I'm just going to do, instead of putting some behind it, I could put something behind it like this. But instead, I think just a little bit of a pool party is in order. So whenever you want to put white on something and you're not really thinking that you need another layer behind it, just do this little technique I just showed you. This gives you contrast on anything and helps coordinate your colors. You don't have Stampin' Blends, just use your Stampin' Right markers. We sell those in a package of all the colors, or we sell them in, well, all the colors except for in colors, all the standard colors from our color collections, or we also sell them in packs of 5 if it's in colors, or packs of 10 if it's the regular color collections. Like we sell them in, I guess Pool Party would be part of the Subtles collection. We sell markers. I'm talking about markers. But when it comes to alcohol markers, we sell them in sets of 2. And I'm just using the dark one today, but you could blend a dark and light Pool Party. So that's what we're doing for the merry, very merry. And we're just going to put some dimensionals behind it. Okay, there. Oops, there. And we're going to put that on there. Okay, so we have the very merry. Put that down in the center. And now we can attach the hearts. So you always want to kind of do your sentiment, and then you can attach the rest. You just want to kind of design with your bigger things first, and then the other things sort of fit where you need them to fit. You can either use mini dimensionals for this heart, or you can, let's see if I have mini dimensionals. Yeah, well, I have mini dimensionals, or you can cut a bigger dimensional, but I'm just going to use a mini dimensional for that heart there. All right, it's coming together. It's coming together. We still need to add our hamster. We need to add our little kitty. And we need to make those kind of move freely. Let's do some gems. Gems. I'm just adding some bling. Bling, bling, bling. Always do things in 3s. Okay. Odd numbers. All right, now we need to get our little doggy under there. Let's get him to go away for a second. And we have to put our hamster there. Okay, let's put our little, we're going to glue the hamster on there. And now he can't be underneath there. Well, you could, but I like his little paws to be kind of like that. So I didn't want to hide his paws, so I'm going to put him like that. And I want to glue him down, especially be aware of the, see how much I use my scrap paper? You can tell I've stamped so much on the back of this one. But you want to glue him down real good on the edges, because the edges of these little things like kind of go like that to your edges, because things get stuck in your wheel. Oh my gosh, he's so cute though. There he is. All right, now we're gonna push him down. Now make sure you always move, when you're waiting for your glue to dry on these cards, you know, make sure you move this card around a lot, because otherwise you start, you know, if the glue doesn't dry, see, this is the natural way it's moving. So I think I need to put another one of those little hearts under there, because I don't want things to get stuck. So I'm going to put another heart. I'm putting the heart on the card itself. Whoops. See, I'm putting the heart down here. It just helps things move freely. Hope you can see that. It's because it helps this wheel spin. See how much easier that just spun because I put those hearts there. And of course, it's not going to spin once you put the wobble spring until you do back. It's a jack-in-the-box. You have to load it back under there, right? It's a jack-in-the-box. So you have to put that back under there for it to come back under. All right, so we need to put our kitty. Let's load him back under there. Here's our kitty. We're going to put the kitty on this part. I thought it'd be neat to just start out with the kitty right there. So we need our kitty from our bucket of crafty goodness. We're going to take one of these, and I think I'll show you how to color whatever. See if we mess up. I'll show you how to color a dog or a cat. I colored them the same way, but with different shades of my different colorations. I have different blends that are lots and lots of different browns, going from bronze to crumb cake to ivory. And I tried to make little different shades on the different animals, but I still kind of used crumb cake as a basis of them. So he's going to go like that, and his little whiskers can get caught easy if you don't put the glue down. If you don't glue him down real good. So we're going to glue him down real good, or her. We'll make the kitty a her, and the doggie a he, and the hamster, he's probably a he too, because he's a little hamster, and they remind me of little mice, and I don't like little mice, but hamsters I can deal with, but still, they're kind of annoying. I did have a guinea pig, but we had more than one guinea pig. All right, putting him down. Again, don't get those whiskers stuck in there. See, you got to get him all under there. He's going to kind of just take up the whole wheel. You can move him down as much as you want to get close to the stocking without his little paws. All right, we got everything we need. Now we're going to do the part with the adhesive. Oh no, don't be scared, Adriana, to do this. You can do this. Okay, hi, Denise. Patty's saying, don't forget to like. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you, Dawn, for doing that. Hello, Lori from Ohio. Hello, Donna Jo. Hello, Jade Chu. Popping Up Puppy is adorable. Donna Jo likes the puppy. And Adriana, do not be scared and try this. Okay, very easy. Everything I'm doing is easy, and I make a lot of these at once. I don't just usually make one. You just make a lot of these at once, and it's just kind of an assembly line process. You can do this. It's not hard. Okay, and now you need your adhesives that came in your kit. These are called foam adhesive strips, but of course if you don't have these, you're going to use like dimensionals. But I like these foam adhesive strips because they let me make lines around my card like this, which is really nice to make the lines. And they're really deep, and they hold up the card really well, and they just make my card move freely. So I like the adhesive strips. You want them all around the back of your card, but without touching the wheel itself. So you want them, you can want them around the edges of your card. You want them around the wheel of your card. And I use these for shaker cards a lot. These things. Here, let's put one there for good measure. And I'll put some more around the corners. Because you don't want a droopy card, so you need some around the corners for reinforcement. What I'm doing is I'm taking off one side now, and I'll take off the other side in a moment. So let's put one there. Oh, but that's a little close. Reaching for these paper snips. A little too close. Don't get too close to that wheel. See? Because the wheel still has to move. Okay, I need some there. So you could double up on your, so if you only have dimensionals, right, which we've been using, that is fine. Let's put that down for a second. But you just need to double them up is all. So if this is all you have, they're not as tall as, see, so I'm doubling them up. See? When you double them up, they're as tall as these little adhesive strips. So you can use dimensionals wherever you want. Look, I'm going to do them right down here. I'm going to use dimensionals because I don't really have room for a line there. But I double them up so they're tall enough so that different parts of the card don't droop. And then I think I need a line. Whenever you have the corners, you should probably use lines. At least a line in one of the corners. Like this. So dimensionals are fine there on the side, but in each corner I just want a line because these lines of adhesive strips, they just work better. Then they don't droop as much as dimensionals. Okay, perfect. Let's see what else I have here. It didn't take me this long when I wasn't doing it for a video, just so you know. It doesn't usually take this long to make this card, but it's all good. I'm having fun with you guys. Let's see. I think that's good. Now I pieced it together, so now I'm just going to peel off all these pieces. Did I put the cat on? I did put the cat on. Okay, I have all the parts in there, so it should be able to spin freely. Before we adhere this down to the old olive cardstock, I am definitely going to make sure it still spins. I get my little Wobble Springs from Amazon, so I will link to where I get the Wobble Springs later on after this video is over. But you all have them in your kit. I gave you at least one big Wobble Spring, one small one. And if you've already used the small one, because we did use it on another card, you could take your big one and cut it down. And if I forgot to put them in your kit because it was an afterthought or something, then just send me a note and I'll send you a Wobble Spring. All right, where's what we're doing now? We're going to put this. I made some room here so I can get my trimmer out. My trimmer helps me line up things. Okay, putting this like this. And I'm going to put this piece of paper down. Remember, I'm going to try spinning first. Spin, spin, spin. We're going to try, boing. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so he's still spinning freely, and now we can load this up. Not load, we're going to move that out of the way. And I'm just sort of, this was, remember, my card base, my old olive piece was 5 1/4 by 4 inches. This little mechanism goes to the top and bottom, so it's like a 5 1/4 inch mechanism, but then it gives you a little margin on the side. Okay, let's try it again, and then we're going to adhere it to the piece of Evening Evergreen. Okay, we'll just load that up. We'll load that up, we'll adhere it, and then we'll try it again. So here's our piece of Evening Evergreen. You already know how to make card bases from video 1 in the series, or video 2 it was. Maybe it was video 3, but either way, we've made card bases. So I don't need to show you how to make this card base again. But just so you know, it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is why I have a 1/4 inch margin around the sides of it. It's called an A2 card. So if you're not sure, just look up A2 card. And I'm adhering this one with this really strong adhesive called Seal Plus. It's a rolling adhesive. I love Seal Plus. Look at the cool little ridges and how easy it is to use Seal Plus. Especially when you grab the line before to make the next line, you can't go wrong. When you try to go right out here in the middle, sometimes you go wrong. But when you grab a little corner and you touch it, it goes on very smoothly. So it's very strong. Your cards won't come apart. Put that down. Make sure you're opening it again the right way, because I always mount my cards upside down and then I have to go, yikes, quickly get it off. Now this one's going to have a 1/4 inch margin around all sides. Awesome. I love it. And he needs Winkostella. My little hamster does. He's so cute. So you can see, because we used those little hearts earlier, that, let's see what's stuck under there. Is there some kind of little scrap? There was a little scrap of paper stuck under there. The hearts help hold up the sides. See? They're holding up the sides. Everything's going to move freely. freer, not freely, just more free. Okay, so I put a little wink of Stella on my hamster. Let's give it a try. We're going to try our card out. We're going around, we give it to somebody, they start spinning it. Oh, and then here comes Mr. Doggie. Ba-boom, he pops out and he can't go forward, so you have to reload him. People are gonna have fun reloading him. You can go the other side and you can get all three sides. So you just reload them, just go this way. In fact, I think we're gonna put the arrows there to go this way so they get to see the hamster, the kitty, right? And then they can see the doggie. And it looks like I have time to cut those arrows real quick. See? Keep spinning, keep spinning. And then Mr. Oh, doggie's getting stuck. So we have to move. There's a heart under there. I think he's getting stuck. Maybe we'll have to do the arrows the other way. The heart, if the heart keeps him from getting stuck in one direction, we'll do the arrows for this one down. Boop, boop, boop. Boing. Cool. Okay, so the other arrows need to go up and these arrows need to go down. And that's just because when I put those little hearts there, sometimes they get stuck a little bit. So we're going to go like this. We're moving my bucket of crafty goodness so it doesn't spill. Or this is my trinket box, I should say. Okay, so stick around because I still have some projects to show you. But what I want to do right now is I just want to cut. I'm just going to take this little scrap and take this little scrap here, and we're going to cut a couple of little arrows for our card. And if you don't do it now, you might forget, and then you might not have your cards like moving in the right direction. Because there is one natural direction they're each gonna spin in, and it has to do with where you put those little heart stickers that we're trying to be spacers. It has to do with where you put, like where the glue's getting stuck or the spring gets stuck a little bit, so it'll move freely in one direction. I'm just looking for what I did with the dies, but I have no idea what I did with the dies. All right, so we're gonna move the trinkets. They have to be under here somewhere. Here they are. Okay, here we go. You're just putting the arrow down there to cut the dies out with. Because I don't think we had to use these for any other cards. I said it really doesn't matter because I said when you were making these cards, I said really it doesn't matter which way you put these arrows because most cards spin freely. And so, you didn't really have to worry about it. But for this little card we just made, like I said, it's going to move freely. Let's load it again. Let's see if it was this way. Nope, it was this way. I think I want it to go. No, it doesn't go this way. So I'm going to have it go this way. I'm going to have it go up. Or let's see. Hold on. Let's see. No, if we start with the kitty. No, he's okay. Nope, there's something stuck there. We're going to start with the kitty and have it go down. That's what we need to do. Down. And it's only for when they first get it. Then they can just load it and go back and forth. So we need a little arrow. It says down. And then it can go back the way it came, and then that'll be sort of a natural. You're just kind of going down. And of course they got to go back the other way later. But that's all we need to know. So down when they first get it. Okay, down. Let's make sure. They're going to have to go back again later, but I'm just talking about down to get it to pop up. Once it pops up, it's all good. Because it can stay popped up. They don't have to reload it. But if they do, they have to go back the other way, obviously. Down. Keep going down. Come on, doggie. You're getting caught on that heart. I have a little heart under there. Boing. And then he can't go that way anymore until you reload him. So have fun. And then this one, I'm thinking this one went up. So we're going to take the other arrow. And we're going to use it. And then we have everything we need. Both cards are done, completely done. And one of these is going to be a prize. Okay, so they get the card. It's about when they're getting the card, not what they do with it later. Of course, it has to go up and down, but the first thing they do is when they get the card, what should they do? And the first thing they need to do is go up for this card. So up, kitty, hamster, doggy, boing. Okay, cool. And I'm going to start on the kitty. So when I send it to somebody, they're getting the kitty first because it kind of matches the whole pattern. And they're going to go, why do I need to go up? And what I like to do is put a little Wink of Stella on that arrow, because Wink of Stella, it's sort of like a glitter glue. So when you put glitter on the arrow, it not only brings attention to the arrow, but it kind of helps it stick a little bit, because, I don't know, just helps it stick better than the rolling adhesive, I think. Done and done. That is how we do it in this series. These are heavy-duty cards with lots of layers and lots of fun. All right, so I'm ready to show you. Hello, Sheila. Thank you for stopping in. I'm ready to show you some other things you can do with this paper. Okay? And I've finished some of my note card holders, so I'm going to show you. When you have this Sweet Stockings Designer Series paper, you can do lots of fun things. These are just plain cards that are super easy to make using the Sweet Stockings paper, which is in your kit. So you can use the leftovers to make some cards. You can use your leftover evening evergreen. You can make 2 cards with it because everybody got a piece of cardstock. Okay. You can use that Inspired Thoughts stamp set for these sentiments, or the Sweet Stocking stamp sets. And there's some more of those gems. Okay, here's another one. And this one's just cherry cobbler card base. And this was the candy cane background stamp. Okay, here's some infinity cards I created using, and I did use my Scan and Cut to cut the infinity cards, or the never ending cards. I did use my Scan and Cut to cut out these little panels so that they'd be really even, right? And it just keeps going and going. So it's just a really fun way of giving someone a card that features lots of Designer Series paper. And this one, I do have this on my channel. It's one of my never-ending card series. I'm going to figure out how to make other sizes and shapes of never-ending cards. Okay, here's another one that's just plain. Okay, and then I told you I'd show you my note card holders. This note card holder features the paper from, it's called Painted Christmas, but I used the Sweet Stockings characters on the Painted Christmas Designer Series paper, and I used the Sweet Stockings to make my note cards. Every note card's slightly different, but I was trying to wait till I got the note cards to make these. That's why I didn't make them earlier. Note cards and envelopes are something we sell for only, I believe it's like $7 for 20 of them, but don't quote me on that. So super easy to put together some note cards that have little layers on them. Like I said, everyone's going to be slightly different. But I like to use the patterns of the Designer Series paper with the cute little doggies and kitties and mice in them. And there's Very Merry. They're just plain inside, and you could have decorated the envelopes too. And what's funny is one of my team members, Rita, she sent me a note card in the mail, and she had to pay extra postage for it. Yes, I said that correctly. Extra postage because it was too small. So just keep in mind that it's better to give these as a gift. She is making things like this for craft fairs, but it's better to give people a gift of a note card holder because it's very thick and you can put it in with a package than it is to try to send someone one note card. Because when you send someone one note card, and here's the next one, then they have to pay extra because it's too small. It's not the A2 size card. It's not the regular card. Here's some more note cards. Again, that same kind of cute pattern of paper behind it. There's the paper we just used. Inspired Thoughts on that one. Thank you for everything. I think that's from the one with something about flowers. I forget what stamp set that came from, but I like the font, so I thought I'd make a thank you card in here. Merry Christmas is from the Peaceful Deer. Hello is from Inspired Thoughts. So here's just more note cards to put in these little note card holders. They hold about 4 note cards. Then they start getting pretty thick. But I'm doing 3 note cards in them. And here's the last one, because I'm just doing 3 because that's how many I made. I made 9 note cards, and they fit in here. Okay. And I did show how to make these note card holders out of one piece of designer series paper earlier on my channel. I'll try to link that up since it's related to this. Sweet Stockings. I'll put something like in the description of this video that says, other Sweet Stockings projects. This one was from the Peaceful Deer. I kind of messed up the bottom of it, so I cut it in half. And you saw how I just colored the heart in with the blends. So whatever, if you don't have a lot of different colors of cardstock, and all you need is white cardstock and some blends, and you can make any color cardstock you want. And I was just trying to match up the pieces of the different cards with the little note card holders, again, that I made out of one piece of designer series paper. All right, so instead of, just because of time, I'm going to show you what I made in the last tutorial. Hello, Honeybee Stamping Hive. I'm going to just show you what I just did last time, and then in my final wrap-up of the series, I'll go back through and show you what I made the whole time in the entire series. But right now, I just want to show you what I made in part 6. So if you missed part 6, I showed you start to finish how to create these boxes using the Balmy Blue designer series, or Balmy Blue cardstock, and some specialty paper that came in your kit. And this specialty paper came in your Give It a Whirl kit that you maybe purchased with the series. So this is a fun thing to do, is make a box. And it just holds little treats, okay, little candy treats, and some little silver shreddy. And then here's what I was telling you. I said you could glue this to your brad. So if you want to glue this to your brad, this is when I said to use the thicker brads. This is what you can do. You can make your interactive snowflake. I did that after the video, so now you get to see. Okay, I believe this was Snowflake Wishes. This one, thank you so much. Right, and I showed you how to color with the blending brushes, how to color this specialty paper. I showed you how to create the box from scratch, how to score it, how to cut this little piece off so you'd still have stitching around the edges of your box. And I promised the measurements, which I still do promise the measurements, when I publish the blog post very soon on part 6. So I hope you enjoyed part 7 of this series, and we will wrap up with part 8 when I show you all the projects that we created in the series, some more tips and tricks for creating a tag or bookmark, and I will tell you the winner of who won one of each of the cards that I created or boxes in this series. Thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef. Have a great day.